folks, this is Tracy with Scrappy's Rustics. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use the IOD Transfers from the 2024 holiday release. And they're very simple, but you could jazz them up, you could jazz them down. I just want to show you how simple and how many you can bust out in just a little while using some simple ornaments. So this is the Yuletide transfer book. We're going to be using the Yuletide and the Kitchi. They're 8 pages, they're 8 by 12, and there's so many projects within one transfer book. It's really amazing. Some of this stuff is beyond Christmas, like the fairies. A lot of, especially in the Yuletide, a lot of stuff can be used year-round for the fall, whatever. I mean, especially if you're a fairy lover. If you have last year's book, it'll match with that. I can't remember the name of those. One was Fairy Mary and Woodland something, but they both kind of had the same color scheme as the Yuletide does, so all 3 of those books would go nice. So the transfers come on a white backing. You don't want to take that backing off until you're ready to use it, and I always recommend trimming it up to size before you pull that white backing off, because these are transfers. They're very thin and they'll stick to your scissors, they'll stick to your fingers, so do your best of trimming it and shaping it before pulling it off. Now, anything rounded, I found that if you cut slits here and there, it will help with the process of it sticking down. Makes it a little more difficult to kind of peel it back in a sense, but just do little sections and you'll have a much easier time. So this is, I don't know what I got these clear ornaments last year on Amazon, and I don't know the size of them. I want to say 10 or 20 millimeter or however they measure them. I'm not quite sure. But you can find them easily on Amazon. And I just used basic stuff that you can get yourself. So none of this stuff is out of reach. I'm using a Scrappy cradle, which I created to hold round projects from rolling away from you and just kind of give you that third hand you sometimes need. So now this is rounded and kind of going up on the sides. So I'm simply just holding it in the center with my left hand. And as you can see, it's releasing on its own. Transfers love slick surfaces. So I didn't put any, nothing down, no medium. We're going right on the plastic. Normally transfers like a top coat, but if it's glass, ceramic, this kind of plastic, you don't have to do anything. Just put the transfer down. So you can kind of see how easy these are going down. However, I learned a valuable lesson by doing this one because I scratched it up pretty good, and I will show you that. I should have been more gentle with my, that little tool comes with your transfer book. See, we got it all down. Look how cool that is. I mean, so easy too. And so many ways you can style this. So there are scratches on it. If you're going to use your tool, just be more gentle than I was. I was like, being all aggressive, and I had it up on the wood. So, I learned from just doing this one. So again, you could style this so many different ways. I'm just going with simplicity just to show you the ease of using these and a few tips here and there. Rounded objects are always a little more difficult. I don't care what you're trying to do. If it's a napkin, a rice paper, always just adds another layer of, not trouble, but it's not as easy as putting it down on something flat. So here I'm going to show you a little trick. I have this, well, maybe not with this one. Okay, not with this one. The top is not as rounded. I had to slice the other one because we were going up on the edges. The middle of this one is fairly flat, but it does have a little bit of a bend. So I always like to go down the middle. And now I'm using my tool again, but I'm going easier this time. You want to get it stuck down in the middle first and then work your way out instead of trying to get it all down at once. Adhere it in the middle and work your way out. And this was a good enough surface that my fingernail actually did a great job of getting this transfer down. If you have a painted surface, definitely make sure all the layers that you use up until your transfer are very dry, because if you don't, there's a good chance that when you apply the transfer, it may pull up your paint as well. So if you paint a surface, make sure it's dry. Add your medium, whatever it is that you use, make sure that's dry. It's always best to leave it overnight, but come on, we're creatives. We don't have patience for that, so we get right to it. But just make sure it's dry before putting your transfer on. And they don't like heat either. So if your surface is hot, wait for it to cool down. So look how easy that is and how cute that is. So it looks like kind of like a 3D style ornament. You could add stuff in it. You could add more to it. You could put stuff around the edges. Take it anywhere you want. I just used some velvet ribbon. I got I think like a couple different sizes last year on Amazon as well of just velvet ribbon. It may be in my Amazon store. I'm not quite sure, but I love the simplicity of this, and it looks so pretty on the Christmas tree. And there she is. There she is. So next up is the Kitchi, and this is a Dollar Tree clear ornament. They have all different sizes, different shapes. I can tell you that the tops of them are really cheap, really cheap. So this one is more geared toward Christmas, I'd say. The flowers, the roses, and some of the poinsettias, the roses you could probably get away with using, not Christmas, but everything else in this book is pretty Christmassy. So how stinking cute is that little rabbit? And we're just going to simply transfer this right on. Now this is more rounded. So again, I'll show you, hopefully here, I cut ridges into the side. I think I do. I think I forget and I do it afterwards. I should have done it before and I did not. But then once I put it down, I realized that this is not going to lay down the way I want it. And what's really holding it back from going rounded is the carrier sheet. So the part that you're, rubbing, you're peeling off as you go, that's what gives you the resist when you're trying to do something, transfer on a rounded object. So here I'm realizing I should have put some slices in it. So just a nip. If you nip your transfer itself, you really can't tell when you put the transfer down. I think it looks better if it's kind of folded over on itself, opposed to having a big bubble or a big wrinkle on your transfer there. So just wherever it's given you, it won't lay down. We can get good contact. Just give it a little nip. And again, the smaller you trim your transfer to fit your piece, the better luck you're going to have as well. So if you put a big honking, square piece of with all the extra flashing on the side where there's nothing, you're going to have a harder time getting this down. So I am using between my my little tool there and my fingernail. Again, it really liked this surface. I didn't put anything down. I do not seal these either. You could, but then you take the risk of not having that clear glass. So I would leave that up to you. If you wanted to do a spray gloss seal, I would probably go with a spray opposed to brushing it on so you don't get brush strokes. But all you really need to seal is the transfer itself. I did not seal these. They're going to go on my tree, and hopefully they should be fine. Maybe when I store them, I'll be a little more careful and wrap them in tissue paper just to protect the transfer itself. So you can see how easy they go down. I didn't speed a lot of this up. Some of it I did, but most of it is in real time, just to give you an idea on, how this process actually works. Again, you could really put another ornament or another transfer on the other side. These snowflakes, I don't know where they came from. I just got my bins out of our storage for Christmas, and I saw them in there. I want to say Walmart. It says $2, but I don't really know. So you could put snow in here. You could put pieces of, that crinkle paper. You could put little snowballs in there. You could line it with glitter. I mean, there's so many things that you could do. So I had this stuff all over the place. I had to stop. You didn't want to see all that. It had a big mess to clean up. So I just crinkled put a fold in some paper, poured it in there. I should have got a funnel, but you know how that goes in the moment. So I just filled it enough so it covered the bottom a little bit and just gave the bulb a little bit more interest, because it is a good size bulb. So pretty cute stuff. Look how cute it is hanging on the tree there. I just love this stuff. I love making my own ornaments, and I think they're an amazing gift because they're one of a kind. It's so hard sometimes to buy for others, or it's expensive, or what the heck to buy them. I mean, most people have a tree. How cute would a couple little ornaments and a cute little basket be for them? So these birds are from the Yuletide. I should have put which ones I did with the Kitchi and the Yuletide, but that was an afterthought. But this one is the Yuletide. So we went Yuletide, Kitchi, Yuletide. as far as the transfers that I'm using. These are just laser wood cutouts. I believe they were gifted to me and something I purchased last year, but I'm not 100% positive. I spray painted them with a white satin. Again, this was raw wood, so that is part of the transfer. They're so sticky. If you touch that and it gets to your finger, it sticks on your finger so hard. It's really hard to get it off. Okay, so here's my trick. I have that exactly where I want it. You see how I trimmed off the bottom right? So I'm anchoring it down with my left hand, peeling a little bit back, putting it back, the sticky down to anchor it. And now it's going to sit exactly where I want it. If you need to go back and replay that, do it. It's an awesome trick, especially if you're using a large size transfer. It will put it exactly where you want it, because handling something large and sticky, you never get it right where you want it. But with this method, it's foolproof. It's just full, unless you shift. But just hang on to it tight with your anchored hand. Look how easy that went down. So I spray painted it with satin white, which is super simple. I know you can get these wood cutouts at Hobby Lobby. You can get them online. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. There's different grades of better quality ones and such. So these are metal or chrome markers. I didn't look at the name, but they come in gold, copper, and silver. Y'all, these are the best paint pens chrome wise I have ever used. They are really, really awesome. Every once in a while you got to give it a shake and like a little dab to get more paint coming down. So I was just going to do the edges because they look kind of just plain. And then I thought the bulb itself looked like it needed something. So I just started coloring in the top, and then I ultimately go all the way around the ornament itself with just a fine line. Just like I said, it just looked like it needed something else, and I wasn't sure what that something else was. I didn't really want to do a glitter top coat on this. I don't know, because it's more like a woodland, but I could have. It would have probably looked pretty when the Christmas lights hit it. Pentart has a varnish and glue with glitter. Y'all, I'm a glitter phobe, so the Pentart varnish and glue glitter is amazing because it's trapped in the glue. It can't get out, and it doesn't fall off your project or stick to your hand or any of that. So that's good stuff, and that'd be great to decoupage or seal your decoupage Christmas. Oh, I'm so excited about that. So I did seal this one. I sealed it with gloss because I didn't want to take away the sheen of the gold paint pen that I just put on there. So be mindful of that when you're using top coats, because I love anything matte. Don't get me wrong. Matte's my thing. And the Ultra Matte by Pentart is just fabulous. But if you're using something metallic or shiny, you don't want to use a matte because you're going to take all that beautiful shine away. So be mindful of that. I learned that the hard way. That's usually how I learn most of my lessons, the hard way. But how simple and adorable is that? You could sign something on the back. You could put another image on the back. You could put a stamp on there's so much you could do. You could make this two-sided, one-sided, make a group of them. Again, I'm just using that velvet ribbon I got on Amazon and just tying a simple knot in it, and watch what I do. Is this the one? Yeah, pull it so hard. Yeah, look what I did. It frayed all over, so I had to give it a little haircut. That frayed I gotta stop working out. My chicken wings are getting strong here. But I think making ornaments is just, they're memorable. You know what I mean? It's not often you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember buying that. At the Big Lots or whatever. But, you could say, oh yeah, I remember that ornament. I made it, and it was this book and this year and all those things. Yeah, you could sign it and put the year on it. I don't know, just ideas, just trying to get some ideas. And then we're just going to use the simple wood slices. These, I feel like you can take anywhere. And this one is also from the Yuletide. I thought this squirrel was absolutely adorable. And there he is. If you like my style, I'd love for you to become a new friend, subscribe. And I hope this inspires you in some way. And as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much for watching.